sometimes, to the surprise of we the therapists and family members, we find a situation where a patient is brought into rehabilitation for treatment from addiction to alcohol and drugs. But it turns out that not everyone in the family wants them to get treated. Some of them want them to continue abusing alcohol and drugs. Take a moment to think about this paradox, and today that's what we like to talk about. Before we do it, click the subscribe button, become a member, join the community of Dr BMS, and let's keep this good discussion going. So, why would it be that a family member or some family members may not want their loved one to recover from addiction to recreational drugs? Because it should be obvious that if someone is unwell, everyone wishes them to get well, at least family members, because family members are blood, kith and kin, they mean well. So it's not like your political enemy or your rival in a business who wants you dead. These are family. But we get situations where a family member is brought into rehabilitation, and the actions, the words of some of the family members show that they actually will be comfortable if the status quo prevailed. And so why is this? If someone has been in addiction for some time, and this person, for example, is a significant member of the family, could be head of family, or a member of the family who plays a crucial role in that family. Because the addiction to alcohol, drugs, takes away this person's ability to function well within that role that they normally assume in the family, then family dynamics change around this role and other related things, so that this person slowly gets replaced and other people take up the roles. So you find a man who's the head of a family, a father, is addicted to alcohol and neglects his responsibilities. If his wife stays on, she does not leave him to go elsewhere, then she takes the role of both the man and the woman. The children may take up the role of their father or their mother, and they do things that they otherwise would not have done if their parent was not addicted. So you find children who are kind of heads of families, they go out and work, do some casual work. If they're in employment, they use their salary to pay school fees for their siblings, to pay house rent, and to generally run the home even when their parents are there. And it's not because they are orphaned, it's because their parents, or one of their parents who was a breadwinner, has deteriorated into addiction to alcohol and drugs and cannot play their role. And so this new situation, perpetuating itself over a period of time, can form new normals, a new way of this family operating that people can get used to. And if somewhere along the way you come and you want to change this to what it used to be or it should have been, if there was no addiction in the family, then you may find family members who are uncomfortable with that because they are used to the status quo. They are used to operating the way they are, and they have learned to get comfortable with it, sometimes to even get advantages and privileges that they could not. And so we find a situation where, for example, a wife whose husband is addicted to alcohol and drugs, but this husband maybe still in employment, earns a salary, some continue to earn even when they're in addiction, or they own some properties, some businesses, and over time, this woman, the wife, is now the one in charge of that business. The salary, when it comes, the woman controls a big part of it. The man takes some of it to go drinking. In some situations, even it's the woman who is giving this man the money, the pocket money, to go and indulge in his addiction, and she keeps the rest of it to pay school fees for the children, to buy food, to pay rent, and to generally run their family life. And so she has become the de facto head of the family, and some of them may love it. And if you bring this man into rehabilitation, and he gets well, and now he starts to say, I want to control this, I want to know how this is happening, sometimes the wife may be uncomfortable with that new arrangement, in which case she is okay if this man continues just drinking the way he drinks, stays there, doesn't cause any trouble, and life continues for the family. And so you find in such scenarios, these family members may give kind of a half-hearted support to rehabilitation, and the reason is because they don't want things to change so much, because the past is not desirable for their present interests. Sometimes, apart from the loss of privilege, control of resources, like I've alluded to, there is some skeleton in the closet. You fear accountability for some of the things that you have done while this person was lost in addiction. And it could be around resources, how resources have been spent. It could be around relationships that you have started, that you have destroyed while this person was in addiction. And you feel if this person comes out of addiction, becomes sober, and starts asking how you spend that money, how that piece of land got to be sold while they were in addiction, you may not have answers. And so the family members who are responsible for this, could be a wife, could be a husband, could be brothers, sisters, anybody, they become uncomfortable with this person coming around to their senses, getting sober, because they will start asking inconvenient questions, difficult questions that they do not have answers for. And that fear of accountability for past ills and even ongoing, some of these things are still going on as this person is entering rehabilitation. The fear makes them not support rehabilitation. When this scenario happens, this patient is brought into rehabilitation, and we, the therapists, start working hard to get this person around. We recognize it by seeing like the family involvement in the treatment of this patient is not assured, it is half-hearted, and sometimes some of the family members are doing things that directly contradict the objectives of the treatment. So, for example, some of them can come into rehabilitation and they discourage the person who is in rehabilitation, like, you're wasting time, I think you're okay, you should just leave, this is not necessary. When in fact they know that it is good, it's helping, it's just that they want this person not to get okay. Some of them can even bring in things that are not allowed. We've had situations where family members come in and they're carrying alcohol, hidden, cigarettes, marijuana, hidden somewhere in a food item or a gift to give to this person, because they don't want this person really to get out of the problem of addiction that they are. Some of them do not support the family therapy. The involvement of the family in rehabilitation is big, and we normally call them to come in for what we call family therapy. So they don't come, or when they come, they say things that are discouraging, they say things that demoralize or outrightly stir up anger, negative emotions in this person. They make this person unsettled. Like, if you are here, maybe out there, this bad thing is happening, and you better get out right now. Otherwise, that thing will continue happening. So you're making this person unsettled in rehabilitation, when in fact you could take care of that problem that you are mentioning until this person is cured. But you don't want to take care of it. You want to use it as an excuse to make this person leave rehabilitation and go back home, continue into the addiction because they are not yet cured. The real intention is because you do not want the status quo to benefit. So family members who come in and they are working at cross purposes with the rest of them, our work as therapists is to identify them and make the family members who are with us on the path of treatment, recovery of their loved one. You make them aware that there is this family member who seems not to be supporting what we want to do. Get their views. What do you think about it? What can we do? Can you call him into a family meeting, call her into a family meeting and find out why they are not supporting this? Is there something you know that you can share with us which can help us understand this? So through that then, we form a coalition of the willing, the family members who are willing to work with us. We put them together in one group and we start working to limit the influence of that family member, of those family members who are not working with us, as we make the person who is in rehabilitation, the patient, to recognize that their treatment, their recovery is important, and these people are working for this recovery. This other person may not be working so well, so try to help us, talk to them, show them the result that you want to change, and hopefully we win them over. Otherwise, if you don't do that, then you find these family members who are not supportive of rehabilitation are like a silent cancer. They will quietly but progressively diminish your efforts and dilute your results so that the rehabilitation is not as good as it should be, and the person who is in rehab leaves the rehab, goes out and relapses much easier than it would have been if the whole family was united that they would like to support this person in rehabilitation. I hope that helps families out there to look at their loved one who is in rehabilitation, at the same time look at other family members and see that they are all on the same page. And if there are any doubts about the intentions and the unity of the family unit in this regard, bring up these issues, discuss with us as therapists, and we find a way forward so that we help the recovery of the person who is in rehabilitation. See you in the next video of Dr. BMS.